So I'm 1,200 hours deep in the Isle, because I'm a gremlin, and with update 6.5 still MIA, I decided it was finally time to try out Pathoftitans. Because why not? I had no idea when I bought it that a big update had actually just released that very morning, but what better time to try a game than right after a bunch of things have changed and the community is in an uproar. Am I right? I booted up the game and decided to go Allosaurus because why not? It looks cool, and my child Dilophosaurus is currently only available as a modded dino, so I couldn't choose him right out the gate. The Gondwa map is fabulous. There's so many different biomes to explore, and the atmospherics and weather conditions make the world feel super alive. When I joined the game's Discord server, I had been warned that grow times on official servers were long, but I figured officials should reflect the game as it is intended to be, so I bit the bullet and opted to torture myself. At first, the questing wasn't horrible. It gave me something to do while I was much too small to go looking for trouble, although I did feel a bit silly as a big vicious predator picking flowers and collecting mushrooms. It was all in the name of growing big and strong, and kept me moving around and exploring the map, though. Hopefully in the future they'll make the quests more animal appropriate, so they're performing more natural behaviors. I will admit, though, by the third day of grinding out quests in all of my free time, I was over it either way. It didn't help much that my small Allosaurus couldn't really do anything when I was attacked. My speed and stamina weren't really enough to outrun or outstam anything that wanted to eat me, and deaths were inevitable. Each death set me back several quests worth of growth, which isn't a big deal if I was on a passive growth server, but this was all on officials, so that meant adding at least another 30 minutes worth of collecting mushrooms and acorns for my allo. The game seems to heavily punish solo players, both in terms of questing and in terms of combat. When you're doing questing in a group, multiple people work together to perform quests, and everybody gets experience and grow time when they help with those quests. When you're alone, you get less quests and have less help doing those quests. But also, large clans roam the official servers and annihilate anybody who's not in their clans. So if you get attacked when you're alone, you don't really have much of a chance. So, obviously, my best option was to drag my friend Tiger into the game with me so we could both suffer together for a while. Now, you have to remember, I've done very little research about this game. All I knew going in was that questing equals growth, and combat can be a bit laggy. So when Tiger and I came across a Megalania, we didn't have a clue how tough they are. Apparently, even more so than before since the Night Stalker update. It didn't take us long to learn that you shouldn't pick a fight with the big lizard when you're a pair of juvenile allos with absolutely no idea what you're doing. After we both died, as we well should have, we found ourselves in a place on the map called Stego Mountain, where we immediately picked another fight with a Camptosaurus. We probably could have handled it had it been alone, but it was not. And we found that out all too quickly when an Anki showed up and beat the crap out of Tiger. We didn't stand much of a chance.
Holy.
I managed to hold my own against the Campto after Tiger's untimely demise off the cliff again. But I did find myself wishing the dinos in the game moved a little bit slower overall. Everything during combat zoomed so fast in circles at times that it felt a little bit like we were tied together while both wearing jetpacks. The tail riding didn't really help matters either.
I know they're both in their seats laughing their asses off. Jesus. Do I have Anki? I do have Anki. I know, it's just running around in circles the entire time. I hate that there's like a weird cooldown on the bite.
Anyway, after eating tiger like the monster that I am, I went to grab a drink. It turns out that the Isle's dinos aren't the only ambush predators that can give me a heart attack. And almost kill me immediately. Again.
Are you good?
Anyway, Tiger was a good sport and respawned one last time. Unfortunately, we weren't aware that carnivores are allowed and encouraged by the grouping system to mix pack in this game. So when a Megalania Concavinator duo were just enjoying a nice slaughter fest, we quickly got caught up in the middle of it. Because we are obviously incredibly skilled survivalists.
Yeah, I'm definitely dead. I'm dead. I'm gonna die. I have 1 health left. Thank you. Bro, why are you like hard targeting me? Nice going, stupid. Yeah. Oh, he's an idiot. Oh my god, Megalania. Of course there is. Yeah, I'm behind it. I'm just riding behind him. He hit me from behind.
So we died again. So once more alone, but still determined to give the game a fair shot, I got up the next morning to continue the grind. It was long, to say the least. But I finally reached adolescent. Well, never mind, actually. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The next day and a half worth of growing was exhausting. It wasn't helped by the fact that the combat was just incredibly rough. All of the dinos move fast, and tail riding isn't prevented or even really hindered by the incredibly basic tail whip attack that is available to the Aloe. I found myself under attack all too often, but kind of unable to really land hits a good chunk of the time because I felt like my hitbox was microscopic. Literally, things had to be almost underneath my stomach for me to bite them, and pretty close to the same area for my claw attack to hit. And then, on top of that, either what I was attacking was itty-bitty teeny tiny, or I was being attacked by something way too big for me to actually do any real damage to it. Eventually, I ended up changing my abilities to be all speed-based at the expense of my already kind of abysmal turning radius, in hopes of outrunning both my attackers and whatever I decided to hunt. Unfortunately, it made me even more vulnerable to the tail riding that I had already been subjected to, and ultimately I was pretty frustrated after each fight. I was determined to keep playing, since I wasn't an adult yet, and I figured maybe things would get a little better, once I was big and strong enough to fight back. Except when I reached adult, I was immediately killed by a mixed herbivore-carnivore clan within about 5 minutes. I almost quit right here. Literally, I just about turned the game off and wrote it off as wasted time and money because I had spent hours upon hours of questing only to get brutally killed by a clan within minutes of reaching adulthood, and it felt bad. But I've felt this before on a lesser level while playing the Isle, and at least I didn't lose my full growth and have to start over completely every time I died. If that had been the case, I absolutely would have quit the game. Like, it just would not even be worth it. I didn't, though, because there's this feature that's new as of the Night Stalker update. Apparently, this didn't used to be the case, but now you have to manually claim your quests. And so any quests that you haven't claimed are banked for your dinosaur until you claim them, even if you die. So, equipped with an obnoxious amount of quests, I set out again to try and figure this whole combat thing out. Now, I'd been told by one of the community members that I talked to that an adult allo, who actually knows what they're doing, unlike me, can kill an adult megalania. The megalania usually only has about 30 seconds of stamina when they're running before they've run out and they can only walk, which is great. But I don't think this is the case as of this update, because I chased this megalania for a good while before I finally caught up to it, and I was starving. So I had to hunt something real or die trying. And unfortunately, because of my abysmal turning radius and my tail attack doing very little, I died. But I had lots of banked quests, so I set out again. You guys, you don't understand how much I want to like this game. Like, I want to like this game. I want it to be awesome. I love dinosaur games. I love the Isle. I love survival games. Like, I want these games to succeed because that means more games for me to enjoy and for me to play. Anyway, I found a small herd. I'd also been told that a Margosaurus was quote-unquote squishy. I guess that's a term that's used in the Pathoftitans community. I don't know if it's used in the Isle community. I'll be honest, I don't spend much time in Isle Cord. So I decided to target the small trike in the herd and hope that maybe, just maybe, I could finally have a successful hunt. Honestly, I was feeling pretty good. I felt like this hunt was going well. I was landing attacks. I had a little raptor dude that was watching me hunt and was cheering me on from the sidelines. I was feeling the thrill of the hunt, I guess. I was pretty darn excited because I actually felt like I was being successful for the first time in 3 days. Sure, I took a few hits here and there, and I was not watching my stamina as well as I should have been, but the herd also wasn't pushing me too hard when I'd back off, and they weren't running away between attacks, so it felt like some really great practice. Like, honestly, I was so happy that these guys were being a good sport. Maybe they weren't being a good sport. Maybe they were just trying to heal enough that they could run away without me tracking them down. I don't know. But then, of course, we have to always have the party poopers who show up. And so this random Megalania decided to put his teeth where they don't belong. And he decided that I was done fighting, or he would make me be done fighting. I think it's really important to note that this Megalania was not with the herd at all. He wasn't with them before the fight. He was not with them after the fight. He just decided to interfere in my hunt because he could. And it sucked. I don't know. I was upset, to say the least. Just frustrated. I finally had a fight that was going really well, and where I thought that maybe I would actually be able to hunt something and, I don't know, finally kill something that wasn't just an AI that I dug out of a hole that was tiny and doesn't fight back. And then this guy just thought that it would be cool, or I don't know what his motivation was, but it just sucked. Okay, it just sucked. Anyway, it was a long 3 days of growing an aloe on the official servers. I had a lot of good moments with some of the really friendly members of the community. I ran into a lot of people that were just nice and willing to help out a new player, which is awesome. You don't always find that in games like this. But there were also a lot of really frustrating moments as well. Did the good outweigh the bad? I'm still not sure yet. Can I definitively state that this is my new favorite game and that I'll be playing it as often as I play the Isle? No, probably not. But I've also only really experienced one animal, and only on the official servers. I think the game has a lot of potential. Like, I know there's a lot of things planned, especially related to combat and abilities coming up for the game. And, I mean, like the Isle, this Pathoftitans is in early access. So it's not a complete game yet. As a result, you know, I'm willing to give these kinds of games a lot of leeway because I know that the devs are working hard and they have ideas for the game, and until all those are executed, I can't give a definitive answer on like how awesome this game is or how not awesome this game is. But I really think it has a lot of potential. And hopefully over time, a lot of the issues that I have with the game will be addressed. I could see combat being really great once the lag and the hitboxes and whatever else are fixed. Hopefully they address the tail riding, because it's just frustrating when you can't turn around and just get your tail chewed off. Let's be honest. But for now though, I'm probably going to go check out some of the community servers and look into the passive growth and maybe some of the light rules servers, just so that I can get a better feel for how the game should be, rather than, you know, the wild, wild west that is most official servers on PvP games. Anyway, if you'd like to see me play more Path of Titans, you know, like and comment on the video so that I know. Feedback is important. If I don't have any feedback, then I don't know how you guys feel about it, or maybe I do. Maybe that means you guys don't like it. Who knows? But anyway, subscribe if you aren't already. And, you know, I've got a lot more content on the way in the near future. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video.